Notre Dame versus Pitt is right around the corner. We have an injury update to discuss in this video with Tyler Horka and Eric Hansen. Folks, please hit the thumbs up on this. Subscribe to the Blue and Gold YouTube channel. Of course, go to blueandgold.com for so much more coverage of your Fighting Irish, plus a lot of recruiting information. It's hot in the world of Notre Dame recruiting. But let's take a look at that injury update that came out on November 13th. Cooper Flanagan, Donovan Heinisch questionable, and then you see a long list of players out for the game. And of course, Jaden Greathouse, who we have talked about many, many times in this video that we put out each Thursday. Tyler Horka, not really surprised that he's out given the update that Marcus Freeman gave about blood being drawn from his thigh that he mentioned on Monday. Like, that sounds pretty serious.
Yeah, I'm glad I asked about it on Monday because we've intermittently gotten the physical updates, but my question was more like mentally, hey, how's Jaden Greathouse doing having to sit out what is now going to be 6 games in a row? This is a guy who was Notre Dame's #1 wide receiver in the most important games of last season, and it was obviously a very, very good season at that for Notre Dame. This year, nowhere to be found because of that hamstring injury. So, like you said, Mike, he had to get blood drawn, and that's a typical procedure, I believe, to facilitate healing in a soft tissue injury. It's drain it and just kind of reset it. But when you're resetting it, obviously it's at a place where you're not very close to performing athletically the way you would if you wouldn't have to drain a muscle like that. So it's not great, but it's also not surprising, like you said, because this has been going on now for almost 2 months. So with him, he's not going to come back until he's fully healthy. And I mean, with 2 games after this, Syracuse and Stanford, it might be a hard reset to where you don't see him again until the postseason. And obviously, Notre Dame hopes that the postseason is the college football playoff, which they are very much in line to make if they win out the rest of the way.
Yeah. How come there's not a Peter Jones conspiracy? But seriously, with the Jaden Greathouse, it just kind of feeds into people thinking, well, maybe he's transferring, maybe this is just a fake injury. There's nothing fake about the injury. And they could conceivably redshirt Jaden Greathouse. I don't know how much good that will do him in the long run. I don't see him as a 5-year player, but there's no reason to rush him back. It would be good for him to get some game action if he's healthy, just so that he's not rusty when Notre Dame goes into the postseason. He's somebody that could help them in a postseason situation. Will Pauling has played great, but there's such a difference in body type between Jaden Greathouse and Will Pauling that would stand up against an elite defense.
There's also a depth element to this. Like, you want as many hands on deck available for a college football playoff run. And if Will Pauling does go down, I mean, you've seen that Notre Dame is down to Matt Jeffrey, Logan Saldate, like guys who have not done this before at this level. And Jaden Greathouse very much has. And like Eric said, he presents a different challenge to defenses as well. A couple things on the questionable guys, though. You would love to see Donovan Heinisch with that concussion come back and play in his hometown of Pittsburgh. I know for a fact that he's gearing up and trying to be available for that game, but the head injuries, you listen to them. You don't push those. I think Marcus Freeman even said that in response to your question earlier this week, Eric. And like, with the head injuries, you can only do so much. You have to let them kind of heal on their own time. And then Cooper Flanagan, that's like as distant as you can get from a head injury. He's already returned from this Achilles, but it's a process to get back to full speed, and clearly he's not there yet. So I wouldn't really see Notre Dame rushing him back either.
There's some mental hurdles with that too, in that, and Eli talked about that this summer when he came back from his second ACL tear. You're worried about planning hard and what happens if your knee gives out. And that's a little bit from what Marcus Freeman said Cooper Flanagan's going through, is that, can I trust my body not to break down? I think that's something he's got to get past.
Got to mention a couple players are off the injury report. Of course, that's good news. Christian Gray, I think he probably could have gone against Navy, but why play against Navy if you're kind of dicey in that? So Christian Gray is off the injury report, expecting him to play, and sophomore wide receiver Mikey Gilbert is back in full strength. as well. Let's move along, guys, and discuss. This was a topic in Marcus Freeman's press conference on Thursday, how he handles coaching rumors. I was scrolling and saw a video of Albert Breer from, I believe, Sports Illustrated talking about the Giants job, New York Giants, that is, like, and maybe Freeman being a name to watch there. Of course, any big job that opens up in college football, Freeman's name's thrown around. How does Freeman handle that with the team, Eric?
I thought it was pretty interesting. I asked him that question. Are you proactive? Do you wait till somebody asks you? And he has tried to kind of turn this to his advantage. He likes to use it as kind of a life lesson example. Like, he's talking about, okay, I don't want you guys to pay attention to the outside noise. Well, here's how I deal with it. Here's what I do. And he said, I have so little time to be in front of the players, to have talks with them. I really have to plan and use the best time, use the best messages that I can when I'm in front of them. But this is something that has come up, that he's used it as just because it's somebody else's noise doesn't mean it's your noise. And that was his big message to the team about all these rumors, and they're daily.
I think it's a big thing, though, that he actually acknowledges them, because one of the worst things that you could do is just act like they're not there. It might not be his noise, but it is noise. Like, it is out there, and your players are going to wonder about that. So even in the limited time that he does have to step in front of them, if it's something as simple as saying, hey, guys, like, this is out there, but I'm committed to you guys. Now, the worst thing you could do is say that and then, leave for the New York Giants or whatever 2 weeks from now. But I think Marcus Freeman is as genuine as they come, and he will take this step by step. When he steps in front of them today or tomorrow before the game, it's not going to be on Saturday he talks about this stuff, but if it's on a Tuesday or a Wednesday and it comes up and he reassures his players, I think that puts them in a positive headspace, and quite frankly, a better headspace to go out there and beat Pitt on Saturday.
The guy that I think did the best job I've ever seen doing this is Link Jarrett with the Notre Dame baseball team when they were in the College World Series, and there was speculation about Florida State hiring him. And he acknowledged that their interest was real. He wasn't going to gauge his interest until after the College World Series was over. When he did take the job, he said, look, I loved Notre Dame. This is my alma mater. My wife and I have aging parents that are in that market. We want to be closer to family. This is this decision. It's nothing bad about Notre Dame. I've never seen a coach handle it better than what Link Jarrett did in that circumstance.
And guess what? The players love him to this day and will never say a bad thing about him or the way that he left. And that's a testament to what you're saying, Eric, the way that he went about it.
Eric, I thought you were going to say Brian Kelly, because what other way to leave than stuff your face full with three plates of burnt ends at a recruit's house and then leave.
Squeeze a round of golf in there as well.
Eric, what's new with the kicker routine? That's something Marcus Freeman talked about, getting Eric Schmidt right with this new routine. A reporter followed up with Freeman about this routine for kicker Eric Schmidt, who went 7 for 7 on extra points against Navy.
And 8 for 8 on touchbacks against Navy with his kickoffs. It was interesting for a couple of reasons. One, they definitely addressed the mental side of it and work on that kind of thing between Marty Biaggi, who was a kicker himself in college. He's the special teams coordinator. And then Joey Raymaker, who's the head of the sports psychology program at Notre Dame. They work with Eric Schmidt. And then in practice, they did something a little bit different with their routine. They usually set aside 5 minutes. This is our kicking period. He kicks field goals, and then you go on with life. Instead, they intermingled those kicks throughout practice to more simulate what happens in a game. You're not all of a sudden you're out there, you have to kick. And they kind of let Eric dictate the terms of when those would happen and how far and so forth to help him get comfortable.
And that last part's the most important part to me, is whatever you can do to put him in a better headspace, a better state of mind to say, okay, I feel confident and comfortable what I'm doing, because clearly there for a little bit with the Notre Dame kicking situation, it was in a place of disarray. It was completely off the walls, bonkers. You didn't know what you were going to get. I think Navy was a big step towards feeling a little bit better about what you are going to get from Eric Schmidt. And look, Noah Burnett is on that injury report, right? He's out for this game. So Eric Schmidt once again knows, hey, this is my job and I got to go out there and do it on Saturday.
And I wasn't getting emotional about it. My contact lens was attacking my right eye.
Well, I know Notre Dame fans are getting emotional that this video is ending. So hold your tears, folks. Maybe to distract you from your tears, hit the thumbs up on this video. Of course, subscribe to the YouTube channel if you're new here. And go to blueandgold.com, your home for all things Notre Dame football and recruiting coverage. Thank you all for watching, and we'll catch you next time.